Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum.
What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to be checking out Odious List from Odious Gaming Company LLC. This is for 3 to 6 players, ages 18 plus, so it'll take about 20 plus minutes to play. And I do want to mention before we get started, this is an adult themed party game. And I'm going to be saying some adult words and talking about some adult stuff in this review. So if you have sensitive ears, be sure to either click to a different video or turn down the volume or something like that. Shoo them out of the room. I don't know. But in Odious List, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be rolling a die. It's going to give you a letter. You are going to be writing down a list trying to score points by having creative answers that make sense. But all the while, the questions are going to be, well, adult in nature. It is a party game. It is an adult party game. We got a lot of those. Does this one stand out from the crowd? Let's check it out and I'll tell you. Alright then, we're going to take a look at Odious List. Before we get started, I do want to mention that the humor and the words that I might be using are going to be offensive to some. This is an adult party game, so be forewarned. So in Odious List, what you're going to be doing is they pitched it to me as kind of categories meets Cards Against Humanity style humor, and it really is that. But I'll get more into that in a couple minutes. So first and foremost, we got our handy-dandy rule sheet. It's a giant wall of text. I hate when they do this. They could have made it double-sided, but they didn't. It's just one big wall of text. But that being said, it is a perfectly functional rule book. It's a very, very simple game, and this will teach you how to play in no time at all. Lickety-split, you'll probably never need it again, aside from maybe some optional rules or a quick rule question or something like that. But still, well-done rule sheet, despite the fact it is a big block of text. So we'll go over the components, and I'll show you how the game is played. You're going to have a sand timer, because this is a real-time game. You are going to be timed during this game. You're going to get 6 pens, because it is up to a 6-player game. It was nice that they included these, because you're going to be writing on a bunch of these lists right here. You're going to have a huge sheet of these. Everybody is going to have a huge sheet of these. You'll have 6 options right here, where you can write down your answers. Next, everyone is going to have one of these little guys, which is a nice little clip thing, and these are very sturdy and functional. They don't feel flimsy at all. You don't feel like they're going to break, and you're going to be getting 20, I believe it is 24 lists on here with 6 different things on each of them, and I'll go over a couple lists so you can see just some examples of what kind of questions you're going to get. I'm awesome as blank. I'd set fire to blank and watch it burn to the ground. Reasons you might end up in the hospital. My grandparents were the greatest generation. I'm in the blank generation. Blank smells awful. Things you do during orgasm. We'll go over 2 more. Insults. Things white people should be ashamed of. What I really learned in college. Reason the younger generation is just the worst. Things you hate about yourself. Ways to avoid pregnancy. I like that last one. We'll read one more so you get a feel for how what kind of list you're going to be doing. Reasons America is still number 1. Things found in a strip club, I should say. I take drugs to feel blank. North Korean state news just reported that dear leader Kim Jong-un has the world's most perfect blank. Good songs to make sweet, sweet love to. Things you don't do around your parents. So that's the kind of list that you're going to be getting in this game. So I think we've gone over all the components. You're going to get one of these lists. You're going to get a little sheet. You're going to get a pen. There is a timer. There is a die. Now on this die, it's going to be 20-sided, and it's going to have various different letters. So what's going to happen is one person is going to roll the die and flip the sand timer, and I'll just show you a mock hand of me doing it. And hopefully it turns out being funny. It might not, but who knows. But the thing is, you don't actually have to be funny. Now, the game kind of lends itself to being funny because a lot of the questions are funny, but the purpose of the game is not actually to be funny. It's to actually have the most creative answers that actually make sense that other people are going to do. Because if you write down a really funny answer, but someone writes something very similar, neither of you gets points. And when you're doing this, you're going to have to use this letter in order to do the answer. Now, the game also has a unique twist, where if you can string together, say, 1 or 2 or 3 words that all start with that same letter that was rolled, like, say, for instance, F, so you'd say Forrest's fucking fingers for what pleasures my wife or something like that, then that would be 3 points as long as no one else had a very similar answer. So we would be on list number 4, so we'd write down list number 4, and we'll just show you a mock hand and see. You can see how it works. We will roll it up, and we got the letter P, so we're going to be using only P words, and we would flip the sand timer. I'd hate to find blank in my Chinese food. I think the obvious one is poop. How about parrot poop? So that could give us 2 points. So we'll say parrot poop. How about purple parrot poop? Yes, purple parrot poop. I don't want to know what he's been eating. 2, things found in a bathroom that starts with a P. We can't go back to the poop train because you really don't want to do that. So we will say, placenta? Sure, placenta. Yee. Number 3, feeling bad makes me feel blank. Feeling bad. We're just going to skip it for now. 4, someone in this group probably has a tattoo of blank. +2 if someone actually does. Let's go with Popeye. Yeah, maybe I'm with sailors. I don't know. Number 5, criminal acts. Pissing, pool pissing. Pool pissing. Yes, pool pissing. That's illegal, right? Especially if you're in a public pool pissing. Yes, 3 points, son. Public pool pissing. That's a winning word right there. Moving on to number 6, words or phrases associated with a one-night stand. Proud pussy pounding. Words are, yeah. Proud pussy pounding. Now this one might get challenged, but I like it, and I think it would probably go through. So I'm going to go with proud pussy pounding. So we still need to go back to number 3. We're running out of time. Things bad. Being bad makes me feel pretty, perky, positive, right? And I can defend this because bullies, they get positive self-esteem by doing things. I don't know. So that one's probably done. So then everyone will reveal their answers at the same time, read them out loud. If you had a similar answer to someone else, then that would get marked off. So let's just say someone else said poop of some sort. So that would get marked off. Popeye would probably be... They might get voted off because that wouldn't make much sense unless you were around sailors. Yeah, we might get rid of the positive one. So I would, assuming all these stood, I would get 1 point for the placenta, 1 point for public pool pissing, and 3 points for public pool pissing, and then 3 points for proud pussy pounding. So yeah, that would have been 7 points for that round, which would have been perfectly acceptable. I would write down the number, rip this off, go to the next list, and you would do that for as many rounds as you want to do it. Now, the rule booklet recommends you do that over 5 rounds, but to be honest with you, this is one of those games where your mileage may vary. If you're having a lot of fun, you'll continue to do it. You really won't care about the points for the most part, and if you're not having fun, then you'll probably put it away and do something else. But that, in a nutshell, is how Odious Lists is played. Oh, great dokery. Odious Lists from Odious Gaming Company, LLC. What are my final thoughts for the pros? Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, let's get the obvious ones out of the way. This is an adult party game. It's got adult situations, adult humor. Some people aren't going to like that. Also, you have to write things down. It is a timed game where you're going to feel a little bit of pressure because it is a real-time game. Some people aren't going to like that. One con that I really had was it's 3 to 6 players, and I feel like every party game should accommodate at least 8 players. 6 players, just to me, does not scream party game. So that is a big problem for me. Another con that I had with it is it's a really weird box. I feel like this box should have like samples of medication you get at the doctor's office. Another thing that I was curious about was the component limitation. Like, they have these lists, and I feel like maybe it would have been a little bit extra, and that's probably the reason why, but a blank dry erase board with dry erase markers would have been the better way to go with this. You could have really saved a lot of box space, and potentially made the box smaller, which would have meant cheaper shipping prices for them, potentially, and less shelf space taken for you, and maybe 2 extra dry erase boards would accommodate 8 players. Any other cons I have with the game? I feel like some of the optional rules should be included in the game. I personally feel like the best answer gets you a point should also be a thing. Also, there's no real clear-cut way to keep score. I mean, you can write them down on the cards in front of you, and that's a perfectly good way to do that, but there's nothing that's set in stone on how to do that, and that's about what I got. I mean, you pretty much know what you're getting with this game after watching the middle part of the video. Moving on to the pros, does Odious Lists set itself apart from other adult party games? That's probably what you're really wondering, and I would say absolutely. Absolutely, it does, but the fact that it's 3 to 6 players really kills it for me. Like, I liked this game a lot, but they just needed more. They needed more player count. 24 list is more than enough lists, and I like the list. The lists are fun. They open themselves up to funny situations, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this game. But when I have a party and I want to play adult party games, I don't want to be handcuffed at 6 players. Now, that being said, it's very easy to remedy that situation just by getting a blank sheet of paper. So as much as I'm, focusing on this issue, it's not really that big of an issue. It's very easily solved. And that's what we ended up doing, is we just got extra paper out. And that's a pretty easy way to solve the problem. But really, let's get down to the brass tacks. Odious List is a very, very fun, enjoyable adult party game that I highly recommend. It's just a blast. It doesn't feel like any other adult party game, and that's a great thing. And the thing is, it's not about being crude and being rude. The questions will set you up to do that. It's about being creative and just realizing that something I ate last night that starts with an A, if you write ass, someone else is probably going to write that. So you need to think outside the box and think of something else. Now, granted, your group might not write the A word, but needless to say, my group probably would. They'd write, like, amazingly aromatic ass or so. I don't know. But anywho, continuing onward, Odious List is a very fun, funny game, and it does have a little bit more gaminess than your typical game of Cards Against Humanity or Captoons or Intervention or something like that. So I highly recommend it, as long as you don't mind just busting out a spare sheet of paper for extra players. So that is Odious List from Odious Gaming Company, LLC. If you're in the market for a party game, I definitely can recommend this one. It's a lot of fun. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below, and in the comments below, let me know, what is your cutoff for a party game? Do you agree with me that you gotta have at least 8 for a party game? Because me personally, if it's less than 8, I just feel too handcuffed. But what do you think? What do you think is the ideal number for a party game to accommodate? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for Odious List. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.